Hello and welcome to another episode of The Tipping Point UFC Stat Show right here on the Monkmatics channel. I am your host Monk, aka the Monkmatician, and in this series we pick one fight coming up off of the whole card from Saturday's card, and we break down all the relevant statistics from that fight. So if you don't know what to choose, fighter A or fighter B, hopefully by the end of this episode we will tip you in the right direction. So without further ado, let's get into the numbers here. And as you can see, from the first screen that I had up, we are doing Kamaru.Usman and Colby Covington. This fight is, I don't have to tell you, an absolute fucking banger, but the stats for it are absolutely crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen two guys that match up in this way like these two do. But we will get into it here. Kamaru.Usman, 6 feet tall, 76-inch reach, switch stance fighter, 34 years old, 19-1 professionally, 14-0 in the UFC. 45% of his fights in his pro career have gone the distance. 45% have ended by knockout win, and 10% have ended by submission, 1 win, 1 loss. Average fight time, over 16 minutes in the UFC. That is the longest average fight time in the welterweight division. Ass whoop index 21.4. That is a huge number. 5th hugest out of 70 welterweights. Power index 0.77, 29th highest, and a perfect chindex of 0. Usman opened minus 225, currently minus 311. I did do these odds last night, so they could be a little different, but I'm sure it's about the same. Let's move over to Colby Chaos Covington, 5'11", 72-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 33 years old, 16-2 professionally, 11-2 in the UFC. 44% of his pro fights have gone to decision. 28% have ended by way of knockout, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 28% have ended by way of submission, 4 wins, 1 loss. Average UFC fight time, over 15 minutes, second longest in the UFC. That's a theme to these statistics here. Longest and second longest, first and second second first? Yeah, I said it. First and second first. 17.21 ass whoop index, 7th highest number in the division. 0.12 power index, pretty low, and a 0.35 chindex right in the middle of the division. Rather see it at 0, but hey, sometimes you just got to get your jaw broken. Colby Covington opened plus 190, currently plus 245. This fight is lined minus 124, does not go to decision. Minus 110 does go to decision. I'm capping this 59% Usman, 41% Covington, and I have no regrets. Usman is 13-0 as a big favorite, which is greater than or equal to 65% implied odds, which is what we're getting here from Vegas. Colby Covington, 28%. Record as a big underdog, which is less than 35%. He has no stats in that statistic. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. He is 1-1 as an underdog. UFC fight finishing data: 4 knockout wins for Usman, 1 submission win, and 9 decision wins, all unanimous. 3 KO wins for Colby Covington, 2 sub wins, and 6 decision wins for him as well. These guys have 2 first round finish wins, 2 second round finish wins, and 4 third round finish wins. Let's get into some striking, where Kamaru.Usman absolutely dominates this. He lands 4.63 strikes a minute, 21st in the division. Why do I keep doing that? 54% accuracy, 8th highest. Gets hit with only 2.4 strikes a minute, 58% significant striking defense. And if I say strikes, I do mean significant strikes. You jokers, 2.23 strikes landed per minute differential, 4th highest number out of 70 welterweights. My goodness. He is 12% striking efficient, spends 46.5% of his total fight time fighting at distance. And when he throws over 100 significant strikes, which has happened 8 times, his strikes per minute goes from 4.63 to 5.16, and he's won all of those fights. In fact, when he faces 100 or more significant strike attempts, it goes up even higher to 5.73 strikes landed per minute. Colby Covington, 4.12 strikes landed a minute at a 38.5% accuracy. That is very low. 2.86 strikes landed against per minute at a 55.5% defense average for the division. Striking differential 1.26 per minute. That is 11th highest, so very good there. Negative striking efficiency, spends 48% of his total fight time fighting at distance. Same thing, when he throws over 100 strikes, significant strikes, which has happened 7 times, he lands 5.05 per minute, up from 4.12. And when he's facing 100 or more significant strikes, which has happened 5 times, he lands 5.62 over 4.12. So improvements there when he's in the fire. But still, these numbers are not as good as Kamaru.Usman. Knockdown data, same thing. 8 knockdowns for Kamaru.Usman in his UFC career. 8. 0.53 knockdowns per 15 minutes. That's 25th best in the division. Never been knocked down. And he's obviously won every fight in which he scored a knockdown. Colby Covington, only 1 knockdown in his UFC career. 0.08 per 15 minutes. That is 51st out of 70 fighters. He's been knocked down 2 times, though. 0.15 knockdown against per 15 minutes. He won the fight in which he scored a knockdown, and he has lost the fights in which he has been knocked down. Takedown data. Kamaru, I have ranked as first in the division in takedown rank, second for Colby Covington. Usman lands 3.27 takedowns per 15 minutes at a 48.5% accuracy, has never been taken down, and that's why he's number 1 in this category. 0 for 20 are his opponents' attempts in taking him down. Kamaru has a 5.26% takedown shooting rate. He is 48.5% takedown efficient. That is the 11th highest number in the division. I mean, his takedowns in finish wins are a little bit less. In decision wins, it's a little more than average. No losses here. When he attempts 2 or more takedowns, which has happened in 10 fights, his takedowns go from 3.27 to 4.53. That is 6th highest in the division, and he's won all 10 of those fights. He's never faced 2 or more takedowns in one fight. Covington, 4.61 takedowns per 15. He shoots 9 takedowns per 15 minutes. That's the 9th highest number in the division. And he's 51% accurate. Very, very good. 0.45 takedowns landed against per 15 at a 75% defense. So not terrible. Not perfect like Usman, but definitely not terrible. He's stuffed 18 to 24 attempts. He has 5.65 takedown shooting rate, 15th highest in the division. 25, almost 26% takedown efficient. See, when Colby wins, he lands over 5 takedowns a minute, 4th highest number. He lands over 5 when he finishes, and he lands over 5 in decisions. My goodness. In fact, when he attempts 2 or more takedowns, which has happened in 11 of 13 fights, he lands 5.75 takedowns per 15 minutes. That is 1 more than his average, and he's won 90% of those fights. Maybe. What else do we got? When he attempts 2 or more takedowns per in a fight, which has happened 3 times, he lands only 1.36 takedowns, but he still won those 3 fights. Let's move on to control time, where again Kamaru is killing it. First in the division in control time, second for Colby Covington. I mean, these numbers, this is where these numbers go astronomical. Kamaru.Usman, 52% control time. Cat tax. Come here. Let's get the cat tax. Who's going to win? Kamaru or Colby? Cat tax is paid. Let's keep it moving. Control time, 52% for Usman, 4th highest in the division. And he gets control only 1.36%, 5th best number in the division. That is a control time ratio of 38 to 1. Over 38 to 1, the highest ratio in the division. I mean, come on. spends 53% of his total fight time fighting inside the distance, controls 97.45% of that time. Never been taken down, so he has no get up time. His hold down time is a little bit better than average at 143 seconds. I mean, when he attempts 2 or more takedowns, 10 fights, his control time goes to 68%. 68%! Fourth highest number in the division. My goodness. And when he faces 2 or more takedowns, it only goes from 1.5 to 6 to 5.5. So we're pretty good there. Now let's look at these numbers from Covington. Just under 50% control time. Only given up 2.35%. 6th and 7th highest numbers, respectively, in the division. A 21-to-1 control time ratio, 3rd highest. He spent just under 52% of his total fight time fighting inside the distance. He's controlled 95.5% of that fight time. Has a 46-second get-up time, 2nd quickest in the division. I mean, come on. When he attempts 2 or more takedowns, 11 fights, his control time goes from 50% to 60.69%. These control time numbers are crazy. For Colby would smash anyone else in the division in these control time numbers. I mean, these are incredible. But unfortunately, he's facing Kamaru.Usman. And if you're a stat guy like me, these numbers get you excited. You know what I mean? Little anxious. You know what I mean? Advanced significant striking data. I mean, look at this. All the accuracy and defense, with the exception of a body and a leg strike, is all going to Kamaru. A lot of these numbers are top 10. I mean, offensively, body strikes landed per minute, 1.37, 4th highest in the division. Look at what Colby eats. 0.66 per minute, 34th out of 70. So he's going to eat some body strikes here. These numbers are ridiculous. Clinch striking, 7th is Kamaru in clinch striking. Colby, 29th, clinch striking defense. 59th, actually, in clinch striking. Advanced significant strike efficiency and differentials. I mean, Kamaru positive in all 5 categories. Head striking differential, 1.46 per minute, half a distance strike, 3/4 of a body strike, half a clinch strike. I mean, even on leg strikes, but 1.29 ground strike differential per minute. Just incredible. Incredible. 30% of all significant strikes landed from Kamaru.Usman in the UFC have been ground strikes. Oof. Colby Covington, negative striking efficiency in all 5 categories, and inside the distance, he's negative 40.5%. I mean, differentials are all pretty good, except for body strike, which we are basically even, but almost a whole head strike per minute, almost a whole distance strike. Looking decent there. Last 5 fight statistics. Usman, obviously 5-0. Covington, obviously 4-1. And we're not even close here. Look at all this green and all this red. I mean, Colby leads in the takedown offense. That is literally the only category he leads in. I mean, the takedown differential is above Usman's, but Usman's is good. The striking is Usman. The control time is Usman. The raw DraftKings points, if you're into that, is Usman. He has an ass whoop index of 20 in his last 5, a power index of 1, and a chin index of 0. Perfect. Meanwhile, Covington, half the ass whoop index, no knockdowns in his past 5, and he's been knocked down twice in his past 5. Kamaru just outperforming him absolutely everywhere. Kamaru trending up in 2 of 8 categories. He is trending down in takedown accuracy by 11%, but that's not. He's more of a striker now. He's a fantastic wrestler. I'm not saying he's not. One of the best, in fact. One of the best in the division, if not the UFC. But his striking needed improvement, and that's what he's been focusing on. Colby Covington trending down in 6 of 8 categories, including striking defense, including striking accuracy, including takedown volume. Strength of schedule based on these last 5. Usman is 5-0, Covington 4-1, as we said, and the strength of schedule goes to Usman, and it's pretty close, but it's clearly Usman's. I mean, he's winning the win percentage, the strength of schedule, strength of victory. He has no defeats. He is smashing it. I mean, with wins over Masvidal, Burns, Masvidal, Covington, Woodley, that Masvidal knockout was one of the most beautiful things. I could watch that on a loop ad nauseum. I could just watch it over and over. And it's not like I dislike Jorge Masvidal. That was just beautiful. I mean, they've all been ass whoopings. His closest fight was the first Covington fight in the last 5. I should also mention he's fought 192 days ago, and Covington has not fought in over a year, almost a year and 2 months. In fact, yeah, last fight was Woodley, September 19th of 2020, which he smashed. You know, he got smashed by Usman. I don't care what you say. The stats say he got smashed, and I say he got smashed, and it says he got smashed from the KO. He got fucking TKO'd, brothers. But yeah, much closer fights for Colby and his opponents compared to Usman and his last 5 opponents. We'll move on to some graphical analysis. Usman way above in striking, but trending down. Opponents trending up, but as of now, we're still over 2 strikes difference. Usman never had a takedown landed on him, and he is trending way up. And the control time is absolutely insane. 42, almost 43 to 0 control time against in his last 5. 0 control time seconds in his last 5. Usually we measure that in minutes, but he has so few, we'll go seconds. Covington strikes, outstriking his opponent by 1.3 per minute, trending down ever so slightly. And then takedowns way above his opponents at over 2 takedowns per minute and barely trending up too. And then that control time, fantastic. 32% to 2.5%, trending up. But you're going against Kamaru.Usman, buddy. I don't know about all that. Basic fight metrics. Usman with more real estate here. The better stats for the most part overall. Usman never been knocked out. Covington has been knocked out and submitted. And then the strength of schedule, as we said, goes to Usman with the no victories and then just on points alone. And we'll finish up this video with the aggregate win, loss, and finish rates. I use these graphs to determine if a fight is going to go inside the distance, or rather if I should bet it to go inside the distance. Usually what I do is I add up the wins, finishes and wins, and the finishes and losses. If it adds up to more than 100%, I'll go further and start to think about betting that. Professionally, we're at 151% here. In the UFC, we're at 140. So normally I would say I would lean this finishes inside the distance. I don't know about this one though. I have a funny feeling this one is going to go the distance. Yeah, that's just my feeling on it. Anyways, guys, let's wrap this up. I am going to be picking Kamaru.Usman here. That should come to a surprise as no one. Not only do I not like Colby Covington, if I take out my bias and just look at the stats, all the stats favor Kamaru.Usman for the most part. And when you add all those up, if you take my bias out, then I'm still leaning Usman. I like this line here. I don't like the minus 311. I think that's way too much to pay for Usman. And in fact, before we close it out, go over here. Minus 311 is way too high. I guess if you're on Colby, you like the plus 245. I don't think Colby's going to do it, so I'm staying away from everything Colby. Personally, I'd bet Kamaru inside the distance, plus 180. I like that number right there. Otherwise, I mean, the over 3.5, over 4.5, I don't really like those. So I'd probably go Kamaru by decision. Maybe fight goes to decision at minus 110. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Like I said, I'm picking Kamaru.Usman to win by decision. Thank you guys very much for tuning into that the tipping point video. This has been Usman Covington. Stay tuned for another one. I'm probably going to do the co-main event. Try to get that out by Wednesday. Other than that, I have put out 3 videos breaking down all the relevant statistics from the entire card for UFC 268, an early prelim video, a prelim video, and a main card video. So be sure to check those out if you need more stats. I kind of breeze through them, about 30 to 40 minutes each. So be sure to check that out, and we will wrap it up here, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and hit that subscribe. Don't miss any of my further content coming this week for UFC 268. Have a great one. Enjoy the fights, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.